When a relationship breaks up, we always talk about the person who was dumped, but we never really think about the person who was the dumper. 3 months ago, I initiated a breakup between myself and my partner of 10 years. And it was a very difficult decision to make. So I just like to vent, really, I guess, a little bit on how I'm feeling now. So I hope you stick around. It was definitely the right thing to do. I don't regret doing it, but I am really surprised about how I'm still grieving. I find it strange. And I find it strange, but it's also impacting my mental health a little bit. I can feel myself not being depressed, but certainly subdued in a way that I really wasn't expecting, because I don't really know why, but I certainly wasn't expecting to still be feeling like this after 3 months. So we've been together for 10 years and we'd had our ups and downs, but generally we got on really well. We were quite compatible. The reasons why I left after 5 years of living with him were, well, actually, I don't really want to go into that, to be honest. But yeah, needless to say that I came back to my hometown and I started living independently. But I missed him, and we gave the relationship another chance. However, the issues that I'd had anyway whilst I was living with him, although reduced a lot, still some of them were still there. And I don't want to go into the ins and outs of it because he is a lovely guy. He's actually one of the nicest people I've ever met. And I can't fault him. He tried his best. He tried his best to understand me, and he was absolutely amazing when I was going through the menopause. He didn't let it affect him at all and was very, very supportive, and I have an awful lot of respect for him still. However, I'm going to say the reason why I think I ended the relationship, because he couldn't love me in the way that I needed. And again, I'm not going to explain what exactly I mean by that, but there were things that I just could not cope with and deal with, thinking that we would be together until the end of our days. It's a hard one to explain because we got on really well. We didn't argue. But yes, anyway, it just wasn't going to happen. So I ended it. And as I say, I don't feel remorse for doing it because we'd given it a good go for the 10 years. So, most of the time we were very happy. So yeah, as I say, I don't think of our relationship as a failed relationship. I see it as a positive note. It was nice to have met him, and I certainly don't ever regret doing that at all. We had some amazing times and amazing years together. But why do I still feel like this 3 months later? I mean, initially the relief was there that I didn't have to... What words shall I use for this? It's a bit of an odd one. The relief was there that the relationship was over, because I think I'd been mentally doing gymnastics about it for such a long time that to actually have it finalised and done was the relief. And this time I did it by completely blocking him with the silence, so that I couldn't be, wheedled back in, as they say, or reeled back in. I don't know what terminology to use. And I think the silence was good for me. I was able to relax and reflect and start thinking about what I wanted to do with the rest of my life without him in it, or with anybody in it, potentially. Because that's the other thing, being in your 60s, the chances of meeting somebody that you can settle down with are slimming by the day. So that did play on my mind quite a bit. But my mental health and my emotional health mean a great deal to me. So, I had to do what I had to do. I think now my head is telling me it was the right thing to do. My heart is still missing him, but my gut is siding with my head. Does that make any sense at all? So if my gut sides with my head, then I know that I've made the right decision, but my heart is still missing him, and missing some of the times that we had together. But I'm letting that hopefully flow through me so that it's I'm not bundling it all up and keeping it inside. I am allowing those emotions to come through. So sometimes I have better days than others. The guilt for breaking his heart has been constant. I can't express how much guilt that I feel for hurting somebody. I just hate the thought of it. This is the first time I've ever done it. I've only had sort of 3 major relationships in my whole life, and 2 of them broke up, were nothing to do with me. I was the dumpee, if you like, but this one, where I was the dumper, has given me such guilt. It's untrue, and I hate the fact that I hurt him. I really, really hate it. So that's a new experience, and it's one that I'm having to deal with, because I have to take responsibility for it. I did do it, and there's no getting away from it. So I do realise that no breakups are ever clean. Somebody is going to get hurt one way or another. It must be very, very rare where people decide to break up and neither one of them feels any hurt over it. So I know that it's normal and it's natural, and I definitely know that he would have had no hesitation if the tables had been turned. So, you know, I have to accept it. I have to accept the guilt, but it's a hard one for me because I'm not the type of person that ever likes to cause anybody any unnecessary pain at all. And I usually will bend over backwards to ensure that nobody gets hurt in any situation whatsoever. So 3 months in, it's still hard for me, but I know that this healing process could potentially go on for another 3 months or so. And if it takes a year, it takes a year. But I know this is normal and I know it's natural. So I'm not overly worried and giving myself any overdue anxiety or stress that I shouldn't be feeling like this, because I know that, you know, it is completely normal. But it shocked me. It has really shocked me about how much depth of emotion. I guess everybody thinks that Dumper is an unemotional, nasty person, but that's not the case. I'm not evil for having done it and breaking his heart. It's just one of those things, and although that sounds awful to say, it is just one of those things and one of life's lessons. So I'm figuring my way through this and cutting myself some slack. Some day I have good days and bad days. Some days I want to reach out to him, unblock him and find out how he's doing, and, you know, find out how the family's doing, because that's the other thing that you forget is when you're invested in somebody for 10 years, you also get invested into their family. And he had a lovely family. I got on really well with his kids. I got on really well with everybody in the family, and I miss knowing about them and I miss being part of it. Is that part of it that you don't ever think about once you're debating breaking up with someone? But it's valid. You know, you are part of the family. So when you break up with the person, you break up with the family, really, because you're unlikely to carry on with that relationship, and that's hard too. I'd like to know how the older members of the family are doing. You know, like my mum is deteriorating. I'd like to know how that side of the family is doing. But, you know, I won't reach out at the moment. It's too soon for me. So some days I think about him, and some days I don't. So I know the healing process is happening. It's just taking longer than I expected and want, if I'm honest. I'm also glad that I gave myself 12 months as a single, because there's no way that I could, you know, jump into a relationship with anybody else, because it wouldn't be fair. It wouldn't be fair to me and it wouldn't be fair to them. So taking the 12 months out has been, I think, is a good decision, and one that I'm going to carry on with. So if you've been the one to walk away like I did, know your feelings are valid and they shouldn't be pushed under the carpet. You need to grieve, and you need to feel the grief, and you need to accept the guilt and know that it's something that you didn't do on a whim. You did it after much, much thought. If you're struggling to go through what I'm going through at the moment, then please drop me a line. I'd love to be able to chat to you and see how you're doing. If you've done this recently, it'd be great to know that there's light at the end of the tunnel, which I know there is, but you know what I'm saying. Sometimes it's nice to speak to people that are going through what you're going through at the moment. So thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.